Karuba, Bahama, come on baby mama, Montego, Karuba. Okay, look, I know that's not how the song goes, but whatever, we're going with it, because I sing it every time I want to play Karuba, designed by Rudiger Dorn.
TheOneTAR!
Have you seen my Rise of Augustus review, which is Roman Bingo? This is Tropical Island Indiana Jones Bingo. Okay, so Karuba by Rudiger Dorn is published by Hava Games.
Cena.
It's for 2 to 4 players, plays in like 20 to 30 minutes. She really wants to know about that tree stump over there. She likes sticks. She's obsessed with sticks, and that's a really big stick. Now, Rudiger Dorn is becoming one of Steve and I's favorite designers. I don't know, he's becoming one of my favorite designers. Is he one of your favorite designers? Rudiger?
I think so. What else has he done?
Las Vegas, Istanbul, Karuba. There was something else we played recently, and we were like, wow, this is really good, and it was totally Rudiger Dorn, and I can't remember what it was now. In Karuba, you and your opponents are each controlling 4 characters, and technically they're the same characters, but you're controlling 4 different instances of them on your own private map, because everybody gets a board and identical tiles. I believe it's 1 through 33 tiles, and 4 characters and 4 temples. And the goal is everybody's going to start with the same exact starting conditions. Throughout the game, one person's going to be the caller, and they're going to draw tiles from their face-down pile and say what the number is. Then everybody else has to pick up the tile that matches that. Everybody gets to pick where they want to put their instance of that tile on their own board themselves, privately. So everybody can do completely different things, everybody can copy, it doesn't really matter. The goal is to get the characters via these paths to the temple that corresponds to them. So when you place your tile, you just place it anywhere on a legal grid thing, and the orientation has to be correct so that you can read the number. So they all have to be oriented the same. But you can put it anywhere on the grid, with the goal being that you will get your 4 characters to their temples. The first person to get a character of a specific color to a temple will get 5 points, and then the next player gets 3, and then the last player, or the third player to get somebody to a temple gets 2 points. So there's definitely a race element of trying to get your instance of a character to their temple first. Yeah. In addition to there being paths on tiles, there's also sometimes these little gemstones. Whenever there's a gemstone on a tile, when you place the tile, you take the gemstone that corresponds to it, so either clear or gold, and you put it on that tile. When you move one of the characters, which I'll talk about in a second, to one of those tiles and he stops, ends their movement on one of the tiles that has a gemstone, you get to pick up the gemstone and you get that, and that's worth points. Clear ones are 1 point and gold ones are 5 points, maybe 2 points. So every round you have the decision to either place the tile, which enables you to possibly get gemstones and or secures a path for your character to get to their temple, or you can discard that tile and move one of your characters. So when you discard the tile, you gain movement points equal to the number of exits on that tile. So for example, if it's like a 4-way, there's 4 exits on the tile, so you get 4 movement points. I always find it interesting, these games of they're symmetrical but asymmetrical based on the player's choices. I always find these games super interesting because usually when I teach this game to new people, there's always a couple people that just decide that they're going to copy other people. And then some point in the first 10 turns, they realize that the person they're copying has a horrible idea, in their opinion. And so they start going their own way. But it's just really interesting because people will plan and try really hard on this game, but there's always at some point in this game where everyone is like, oh crud, I made it impossible for this thing that I was planning to happen. Because it's a lot harder than you would think, especially because characters can't jump each other. There's no sharing tiles, so characters can't be on the same tile. They can't move through spaces where other characters are. It's just, it's a straight up race, essentially, between the characters in the game and each instance of the characters that you're controlling. This trail is really pretty. This is a really nice walk. I wish you were here. You're sort of here. In my hand. Which is weird, but it's pretty. The game is simplistic, which is part of the reason why it's a Haba game, right? And it's part of Haba's family collection, which means that it's meant for older kids. But you could totally play it with super competent 7 or 6-year-old. For sure.
It's a hubba game. You play it how you want.
You're going down, Yellow.
But it's really simple and it's strategic in a surprising way, and it plays super fast, and it's one of those games where like you play it and you immediately want to play it again because you're like, oh well, I'll do this differently next time. And every time I've played, I've tried a different strategy with different results, and so it's really interesting, and I think that it's no surprise why this game was nominated for a Kinderspiel. I guess I also just have a thing for bingo-esque games that aren't bingo, like bingo but slightly more strategic versions of bingo, so there's that. But sorry there's no cliffhanger in this video. It's really straightforward that I just really like Karuba. I think it's really interesting. I think it works for a lot of different people and families and age groups and types of gamers, and I think you should check it out. The problem with lowrider dogs is you have to get really low to get selfies with them. Steve, look at the camera. Yuji. Xena. Well, we lost one. Steve,
Xena.
Steve, look at the camera. Steve, just look at the camera. Ichi. Ichigo. Ichi. Ichi. Ichi, you want a treat?